Welcome, folks, to Incoherent Thoughts episode 24.
It's quite a big number.
Yes.
It's a lot of fun episodes.
So much quality content for our fans to go out and listen to.
I know, they're very lucky to have us.
Super, super lucky. So, Brad, what'd you do this week?
Did some video stuff and gamed and food, all the great things of life.
Did you do video stuff?
Yeah.
Like what?
Got some footage and I was like, damn, that's pretty good for this week.
Excellent, excellent. What type of food?
Mostly cereal. I have a very large assortment of cereals that I choose from, so that's always fun.
I've mostly been eating cake as my dad. What was it, Friday? No, last Tuesday, right? No, last Wednesday had a fundraiser, and he got like a yard by yard area of cake, and the majority of it, as you might guess, was not eaten, and so we just have a metric load of cake in my basement fridge that I've been enjoying.
Sounds nice. What type of cake?
I think it's just vanilla.
I love vanilla.
Yeah, it looks like vanilla. I think it's vanilla. But the icing is very good. That's the good part.
Mm.
It's a moist cake, and the icing is very good. It is very sugary, though. I usually have a high sugar tolerance, and even I can only have so much of it at once. So, I guess that's something.
I guess so.
What about you, Brad? Do you have a high cereal tolerance?
Yeah, it's kind of sad, but I do.
How much cereal can you eat in a sitting?
I ate a box of Captain Crunch in one day.
Are you
I
serious?
just had it. Yeah, I just had it next to me.
That's really upsetting. A whole
It's good.
box of Captain Crunch?
I don't take it back. I don't regret it.
Did you have it with milk, or you just had it dry?
No, just fucking dry.
Alright. I mean, I've just snacked on like Frosted Flakes before, but I didn't eat. Wait, was this a normal size or like one of those jumbo family size boxes?
No, what the fuck? I'm a normal person. It's just a regular box.
Because whenever I get cereal, I get the jumbo size.
No, normally I do too, but I was, going light for that.
I see. That's crazy though. A whole box. I mean, I drink a lot, but I don't quite eat. Well, no, I eat a lot too, but I don't eat only one thing. I usually try and bounce around things. Except for yesterday. Yesterday I had super ramen.
Sounds nice.
Do you know what super ramen is, Brad?
No.
It's multiple packs of ramen at the same time.
Oh, that's neat.
I got my sodium for the week.
Haha. Yeah, I'm sure you did.
No, most of my gluttony, I think mostly I drink more than anything else, though. So, like, I can drink a liter of cranberry juice in a day. I usually finish off like a box of soda in like a day or two. I'm sure my mom hates me for it, but I don't know, man. I just drink so many liquids.
I don't drink very much at all now that I think about it.
Yeah, I'm especially bad at restaurants where they'll keep bringing me refills. Sometimes I drink so much liquids at restaurants that like I can't actually finish my meal. Like I'm so like full off of like I'll drink like 4 or 5 glasses of like whatever they bring me. Like I just keep drinking and drinking and drinking. I don't know. I have no self control when it comes to drinks. I don't know why.
It's interesting.
Like at least with food, I eat a lot, but like I kind of know my limits now. But with drinks, I just like It's a ravenous thirst, Brad.
You cannot be
It
quenched.
cannot be quenched. Especially juices. Juices are the best drink. Cranberry juice, orange juice, lemonade, I guess, is technically a form of juice. Not really. I guess it's more of a drink. But
I'm just a big fan of milkshakes.
milkshakes are your vice.
Yeah.
You just have like a milkshake every day?
Oh, I don't know. I'm way too lazy to make one of those, but I do quite enjoy them.
I see. I like a juice over. Did I just say juice? Juice over everything.
I see where you stand.
I like drinking juice. Juice or water, but mostly juice.
All right.
Brad, I've returned to Osu.
God damn it.
I don't know, man. It's just like, I don't know what it is about Osu, but I can always come back to Osu. It's like League. Like, normally, throughout my history of gaming, there are only a few games that I consistently come back to and keep playing and playing and playing. There's Halo, League, and Osu. And then back when I when pretty much the only multiplayer was just like playing with your friends in a room. There were other games, but like over multiplayer, or online multiplayer, it's pretty much been League, Osu, and Halo. And then I guess I always play the Final Fantasy games again, but I don't know what it is about those three, man. I always come back to them. I mean, granted, with Osu, it wasn't so much I wanted to stop playing Osu this time as much as, like, I lost all my songs and I was tragically upset by it. That's why I didn't want to play, because I didn't have anything to play. But I got a bunch of songs from a friend, and then I downloaded a bunch of beatmap packs that they have online. So
I see.
have like 2,500 beatmaps back now.
Yeah.
I had more before. I had like 4,000 before.
It's quite a bit.
Well, it's not individual songs. It's like each song can have like up to like 10 beatmaps, right? But still, yeah. It's
still a fair bit.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's why I stopped playing. But I got a bunch back and I'm playing again. My ranking went down by about 10,000.
That may be good or bad. I'm not quite sure what you mean.
Up in the bad way. So I think I was like 79,000 before I stopped playing, and now I'm like 80. Well, I was 91,000, but I'm down to like 89,000 now. But yeah, so I lost like 10,000 ranks, which is kind of to be expected. I actually thought it would be more. That's pretty decent, all things considered.
It's not too bad.
Mm-hmm. And I didn't lose much of my skill. Like, my finger dexterity is kind of shitty, but that's the only thing I really noticed. I don't know. Is it the only game that you keep coming back to, League, Brad? Are there any other games that, like, you just kept coming back to?
I think I came back to MapleStory like probably 12 times over 7 years, so there's that.
Why? That game.
I like that game. It's been ruined, but I still love the core of it.
Alright. I almost played MapleStory once. I forget what happened. Like, I was gonna play it, and I got permission from my dad to play it, but then I just, like, never made the account or something. I don't remember what happened with it. I guess I just wasn't that interested.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Also, this week, you started watching Game of Thrones, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
One of us. One of us. One of us.
Do you like that show?
Yeah, I do. I think it's the greatest nerd soap opera there is.
It's an interesting way of putting it.
That's how I've always described it when I talk to people about it. To me, it's literally the drama of the show is much like a soap opera, but it's just kind of in a fantasy setting. So I think of it as a nerd soap opera.
Hmm.
How many episodes are you on?
4.5, 5.5, I guess. Just either way, but yeah, not too far. About halfway through the first season.
That's not bad.
Mm.
They're hour-long episodes, so
Yeah,
it's not bad at
it's
all.
very good so far.
Yeah, it's super well produced. That's the thing that can get you hooked real quick, man. Good production in a show is the greatest thing.
I like it when shows have mysteries.
What do you mean by that?
Uh, or I guess I should say just intriguing things that they don't like. They show you, but they don't go into it too much. It makes me think.
Oh, when
Like
they
for
don't treat you
example,
like an idiot.
yeah, it's a nice feeling.
Like
Like in Game of Thrones, the
Psychopath
big.
season 2. Sorry.
Mm, oh,
Go ahead.
yes. I was gonna say, like in Game of Thrones, the big ice wall, like that's a pretty unnatural structure. It's just there. They use it. They don't really know anything about it.
Yep.
Stuff like that.
Yeah, it's a very cool universe. I love very epic sized fantasies like Lord of the Rings and things of that nature. It's fun to learn about. Like I always enjoyed like hearing and learning about Lord of the Rings, like lore and history. Like I don't actively pursue like learning it, but whenever like there's a summary on it or someone's like talking about various characters or um, idiosyncrasies in the realm of Lord of the Rings or other such things, I'm always interested in read it.
Hmm.
But yeah. Anyways, Game of Thrones. Um,
Yeah.
Game of Thrones is good. The actors are great. The production is great. The dialogues are great. Pretty much everything about the show is excellent. I'm trying to think if I have any complaints about the show. I don't know. Nothing too. I mean, nothing super egregious that it like jumps to the forefront of my mind, I guess. But I'm sure there's some that I'm not thinking of. But yeah, I very much enjoy the show. I'm completely caught up. The new season just started, actually. Actually started on a pretty boring note. Not much happened. Just kind of like segued the last season into the new season, right? Because they tend to leave seasons on kind of I guess a climax, right? So you got to segue the climax into the next season.
All right.
So it's kind of a simple start. Nothing too hyphy happened. Yeah.
Mm.
Hopefully it'll pick up quickly. It always does.
I'm looking forward to it.
So, I understand you're subbing this out. You're subbing out Full Metal Alchemist for this, though, Brad. It hurts my heart.
Haha, yes. Don't worry. I had changed my mind about the show. I think it's good now. I'll come back.
Which is odd because from what you had told me, you were saying you enjoyed it. So it's odd that you're like, I didn't realize that you weren't enjoying it.
Well, it was like I enjoyed it in the same way I enjoyed The Simpsons. It was something to watch, and sometimes it was good.
I think the show is very good. It's very creative. The dialogue is usually relatively smart and well humored. So, and the action is good. I don't know how it translates in Brotherhood, but in the original anime it was good, and in the manga it was good. So, I assume it would translate well. But yeah, I love Full Metal Alchemist. I'm excited for when you. I mean, you'll be watching Game of Thrones for a while, so I guess it'll be a while until I hear your final thoughts on that. But
what is it? It's like 50 episodes or something, right? An hour long.
Full Metal Alchemist or Game of Thrones?
Game of Thrones. Or is it longer than that?
It's 4 seasons, an hour each. I don't know how many episodes.
I mean, I could probably just watch it in the next week. So.
Damn, that's a commitment.
I'm pretty sure I watched Hunter in less than a week. So.
I think it was like a week and a half.
Was it really?
Yeah, because we talked about it on 2 podcasts.
Huh. Damn, I'm shit.
Garbage.
Oh.
But yeah, I also started watching a new show. Not an anime for once. I don't know. Like, for a lot of US shows, I don't really get into. Unless it's like a more artistic show. I don't know. A more dramatic show. You know what I mean? A lot of shows in the US are just kind of like sitcoms right now, or stuff like that. And then there's a lot of just kind of shitty sci-fi or shitty drama. But like really good dramas, I'll get into. But there's usually not that many that are like exceptional. So I don't really watch that much mainstream US television. But Netflix does have a new original series for the comic book hero Daredevil from Marvel. And I've only watched 2 episodes so far, but it seems pretty good. I won't say it's like, exceptional, like I was just saying I only watch exceptional shows. But it is good enough that I'm enjoying it. Other superhero shows that have been on TV have almost always been by really low production value channels, like the CW, and they always pick rookie actors who are pretty much completely shit. Directors are usually average, so I never really got into any of those. Supposedly Flash and the Green Arrow have 2 shows right now that are pretty good, but I tried to watch the first episode of Green Arrow and I was like, this is garbage, so I just stopped watching it.
It's too bad.
Just
the
cinematography and the acting and the writing, it's just really underwhelming.
Yeah, it's too bad. Is the Deadpool one live action?
The movie?
The show you were talking about.
No, not Deadpool, Daredevil. Did I say Deadpool?
Fuck, I'm stupid. No, I said Deadpool. I was fucking retarded. Daredevil. Is it live action or animated?
Live action.
And
it's kind of it kind of embraces that more gritty Nolan Batman kind of feel. Very dark, shadowy. It's raining a lot. Almost all the key scenes happen at nighttime or when it's overcast, stuff like that, very gritty, type of feel. So
yeah.
I like it. The cinematography is okay. The writing is pretty good. I can't complain about the acting so far. And the story progression is good. They do it in hour-long episodes, and I think there's 12 or 13 episodes. So I've watched the first 2, and I enjoyed them. It's pretty good so far. So I'm looking forward to checking out the rest of the series. I've heard a lot of good things about it, and so that's why I was checking it out. Like it wasn't even showing up on my Netflix recommendations or anything. Like people were just talking about how it's supposed to be good. So I checked it out and been enjoying it.
Good to hear.
Yep. But yeah.
Yep.
So, moving on to our good old pastime of League of Legends.
Oh yeah.
Whoa, League of Legends.
Tell me about all the crazy upsets that happened this week.
I don't know if they were. I guess they were upsets. It's true. Well, there are some. Start out with OGN. To start off the OGN week, KT beat Jin, which was an upset. Jin has kind of been looking shakier and shakier this second half of the split. The team comps they were running in the first part of the season, or split, were very focused on late game mid laners who can just farm and who weren't very mobile, and they would pretty much just rely on ganked by mom, and then they would just kind of go even in the other lanes, and then they had very good early objective control, right? And the meta has kind of shifted away from them. Tank junglers and tanky top laners, and hell, even tanky mid laners, are a lot rougher for late game mid laners and stuff, because they just don't really do any damage in the mid game. And if you're already tanky by the mid game with the new Cinderhulk, then it's very hard to kill them. Cinderhulk pretty much makes most tank junglers spike in the mid game, so it's very difficult. And then also everyone just kind of caught up in objective control. KT has really become a lot better of a team. They've been taking games off a lot of the higher ranked teams in this second split. So I think it's a mixture of Jin kind of going down a bit and KT is going up a bit. So, also, SKT versus GE, probably the best series of this split. Period.
Period.
Well, excluding LPL, because I haven't watched enough LPL to say that, but very good series. Relatively close games, even though SKT did beat them 2-0. Basically, SKT has a better grasp on team fighting, meta play, and their players just look better right now. Currently, GE's jungler Lee looks really bad. Most of his champions that he played have fallen out of the meta, and he never really had. His champions that he played were never really that good anyways. Kuro is kind of a weak laner, and oftentimes when they don't know what to do in the early game, they just kind of throw ganks top, and if they don't work, then they just kind of slowly lose the game out. And their team and SKT's team fighting was better than GE's, so they can't really come back through that anymore. So SKT just kind of went out the series through that. Fager played Lulu the first game, which you wouldn't really expect to be a Faker comp. You know, that's usually something more that EasyHoon would do, because when when you have Faker, you usually want to put him on a carry. But it worked out. They won that game pretty handedly. And then in the second game, Faker played Cassiopeia, which was also more of an Easy Hoon champion until recently. But Faker played like Cassiopeia, like super aggressive, while Easy Hoon just kind of plays it like a farm lane and just kind of waits it out, and just plays very calculated kind of play style. But yeah, SKT like through the game, they were winning the majority of the game. They win a team fight, and then they try and go for Baron, and then Hecarim home guard TPs and like triple kills them at Baron and gets Baron. And I was just like, oh, the game is over, because GE was running a Kog'Maw comp, and I thought that for sure it was over, because Prey is still a great player and his Kog'Maw is fantastic, but SKT just out team fought the shit out of GE in the second game. After GE just got Baron too, they basically isolated Smeb, killed him, and then it was a 5v4, and they won. It was very impressive, and yeah. So I'd highly, if anyone watches competitive league, I'd highly recommend the series. Very good.
It was so sad.
It was. I honestly, when Smeb TP'd, triple killed him, and got Baron, I thought the game was just over. Like, I was saying it repeatedly. I think we were in a call together, and I was just like, "Oh, the game's over."
Fucking GE, man.
But SKT, they pulled it through, man. And it looks like my pizza bet will come through, man. Archivist is gonna owe me, man. That's all I care about.
Better be a great pizza.
I hope so. If they do win, then they'll be at MSI, and then Archivist will just get me one at MSI, because he's coming with us.
Oh.
Yeah, so that'll be fun. He'll just get one, and we'll eat it in the hotel room. But yeah, so that was a very good series. And then apparently, I only watched one game of the next series that happened in OGN, which was Samsung versus Najin. And I watched the first game, which was a normal stomp against Samsung, because they always get stomped. In fact, a hilarious play happened that game where like they all tried to do the fucking bush cheese that they usually do, where they all just stand in a brush and try and get a pick. But they walked into it when they had the lane warded. It was a sideline brush, right? And so they knew they were there, so Rumble just ults them, and then Xerath ults them, and they just like melt their entire team instantly, and it's absolutely hilarious. So that happened in the first game, and I was like, okay, it's just over. So I didn't watch the rest of the series, but apparently Samsung came back and 2-1'd them. So I guess that happened. That's kind of random. I don't really know what to say about that game, about that series, because I didn't watch the other parts. But that's indeed an odd occurrence.
Mm-hmm.
Next, we'll hop on over across the pond, TNA.
Yeah.
C9 versus Team Liquid happened, and once again, Team Liquid gets reverse sweeped to get knocked out of playoffs. Second season in a row, second split in a row. And so pretty depressing if you're a Curse/Team Liquid fan, that you've been knocked out twice by reverse sweeps. But yeah, so they're winning the first two games pretty handedly. Like, they were looking very good in their victories. C9's comps were kind of odd, but Um, you know, Liquid was doing all the right things to win the games. So it was looking like a Team Liquid victory, and then in the third game, Cloud9 picked a double AD comp, with Corki mid and I forget, I think like Lucian bot lane, and they played out the comp perfectly, and they won the game. And as soon as they won that game, I knew it was gonna be a reverse sweep, dude, because every it happened last split, and every time, especially after C9 won 2 games, I have never seen a best of 5 where someone has gone 2-0 and then they go 0-2 and then they win the 5th game. I have never seen it. In all of my like competitive League of Legends watching, I've never seen anyone come back from the 2-0 to 2-2, like, and then win by 3-2. It just doesn't happen. I guess people are like too like shaky, like their morale is too low or something, but I've never seen it happen. So I pretty much knew the series was over by the 4th game when C9 was winning that game. Yeah. So, cool series. C9 was looking pretty good. Their early game is looking much better, especially in the last 3 games. But I do think TSM will win finals. TSM is just too solid a package right now. They have multiple strategies that they're very good at. Their vision control with Less Boy is fantastic. Bjergsen is playing great. Santorin is also playing very well. Their only weak spot right now is Dyrus, who is actually playing pretty subpar. Granted, they're also kind of playing a style that sacrifices Dyrus, but at the same time, a lot of the deaths he has are avoidable. He often will just, like, sometimes he gets killed solo by mistake. Sometimes he just stays under a tower when he doesn't really have any vision and he just gets dove. Oftentimes the team's calls will, well, no, that's more of a team thing, but he does make a lot of mistakes individually that puts him even further behind than what the team makes him. So yeah, I do think Dyrus is the weak point, but TSM is, like, if Dyrus is your weak point, then you're doing pretty well. So I think TSM will win out playoffs and be an MSI. I would be surprised if they don't.
Go TSM.
Please. It hurts my heart. As far as EU, Fnatic versus H2K happened. That was an interesting series. It was Fnatic, like, brought out the Smite TP top lane in full force. It was if you wanted to watch a series and figure out, like, what the Smite TP is about, watch that series, because Fnatic played that so incredibly well. Huhi, the Fnatic top laner, played like Lee Sin with Smite top, and he would just rush skirmishers center Hulk, right? He would counter jungle the shit out of the enemy jungler. He would farm his golems and then just farm normally as well. He stole like 3-4 dragons across the series. I think he stole a Baron too at some point. Like, dude was just crazy. on Smite TP top Lee Sin. Like it was really incredible to watch. Um, really played well that series. The mid laner and the jungler also played well. And then obviously Yellow Star always plays well, but Huhi is very impressive in this meta. So I think um, that's primarily why they went on. H2K does look very strong as well, so it'll be an interesting third place match between the winner of Unicorns of Love versus SK, or the losers. Um, Unicorns of Love actually beat SK. That was a horrible transition, but whatever. Unicorns of Love beat SK 3-2 in an upset. I'd say. Well, it is an upset. You know, SK was the first seed, and I think Unicorns of Love was like the fourth or fifth seed.
Oh, that's a pretty big difference.
So, pretty big upset. SK. I don't want to say that the reason that Unicorns of Love won was only SK's mistakes, but a lot of it were SK's mistakes. Let's see. Pretty much the entire series was dictated by whether Sven Skaren and could hard carry. Forgiven always did well, but he made a lot of mistakes by like getting hooked. Hillisang on Unicorns of Love pretty much carried Unicorns of Love. Dude is a crazy playmaker. Morgana, Thresh, Annie, he just makes plays, dude. That guy is crazy. He regularly would catch out Forgiven. He initiates team fights, finds crazy picks. I think the way to beat Unicorns of Love is just to ban him out, honestly. Yeah. I don't know. SK, they just made a lot of really stupid mistakes that series. Just kind of disappointing. And Unicorns of Love were playing well, but I think it was a lot to do with SK making a lot of mistakes. So, kind of unfortunate.
Yeah.
So it'll be Unicorns of Love versus Fnatic in the finals for EU, and I think Fnatic will win. I just don't think Unicorns of Love are good enough a team. Like they're good, but Fnatic just looked really really comfortable in the current meta, and I don't think they're a better team than Fnatic, anyways. So I expect Fnatic to win. I think the third place match will also be a really good match between Unicorns of Love and SK. Or no, sorry, SK and H2K. My bad. That should be a good series. I don't know who will win that one. I have a sneaking suspicion it'll be H2K, but we'll see. I think I forgot to guess on who will win third place for NA. It's in NA it'll be Impulse versus Team Liquid. And I think Impulse will win.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, Curse is too tilty. I think they'll be their morale will be low after last week. And Impulse is a really good team. Honestly, I think they could have beaten TSM in their series. But they really, like, in the first game, Rush played Nunu really well. And he counter jungled, and he had a lot of pressure, and they had really great objective control, and they just snowballed it into a victory. Um, and so that was great. But then they kept playing Nunu, and TSM just kind of adjusted to how he played Nunu. Like, he got caught in TSM's jungle and died, and then TSM just kind of snowballed that. And then he kept trying to make, like, really aggressive mechanical, or not mechanical, he just kept trying to do, like, really flashy, aggressive ganks, but on Nunu. And, like, that's the type of player Rush is. Like, you know, he's a Lee Sin player, he's a Vi player, Jarvan player. And his Nunu was great in the first game, but it just seemed like he kept trying to gank with Nunu instead of like playing a vision game, like again a counter jungling game, and I think that really hurt them. So hopefully he'll like, I don't know, if he can play Nunu like he did the first game of the TSM series, then great. But I also think he should maybe just go back to like more aggressive early game jugglers as well, where you can snowball his lanes. But yeah, I think Impulse will beat Liquid, but it should be a good series. Most of the series this week were good, and I think the series next week will be good as well.
Hopefully.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it for competitive league.
What a fun time.
What a fun time. So next, I wanted to talk a bit about favorite or like anime soundtracks and like shows that are very music centric. So like, what are some of your favorite anime soundtracks, man?
Hunters.
Hunters?
Yeah. It's like, I don't know, a lot of the songs, I think they're fine by themselves, but a big reason why I like them is because of how I relate them to the show.
Yeah. It's the same with me. A lot of, like, I don't usually, when I think of an anime soundtrack, I don't really just think of the openings and endings. In fact, that's often why in, like, Osu, like, I don't know a lot of the songs people are playing. Because when I think of a soundtrack, I think of the whole show's soundtrack. So, some of my favorites would be Samurai Champloo. I mean, most of my favorite animes are very music-centric. So, like, Samurai Champloo, Cowboy Bebop, Fooly Cooly are all very music-centric shows where the music adds a lot of the style and the atmosphere to the show. So, for example, my favorite two animes, Samurai Champloo and Fooly Cooly, are entirely all the music is by one artist for each of them. So Samurai Champloo is done by Nujabes, who is a very famous artist in instrumental hip hop, and he's kind of the renaissance point for hip hop in Japan. Not I don't know. That's his phrase. I don't know. He was kind of the birth of Japanese hip hop, I guess you could say. I love his music just by itself, but he also did the entire soundtrack for Samurai Champloo, and Samurai Champloo is basically like a samurai show, where the whole theme of the show is like, what if like old samurais were like influenced by like American hip-hop culture. And so like there's graffiti, there's like beatboxers, all sorts of thugs and stuff like that. and that's like the atmosphere of the show. Obviously, the plot isn't about that, but a lot of the atmosphere and environment, and obviously the music of the show is very hip hop inspired. Um, so a lot of the show's uh, value, interest, and production comes from the music of Nujabes. And so that's why it's one of my favorite shows because the soundtrack is so good, the show is so good. I mean, the fighting is good, plot is good. Oh, so that's what I like in an anime soundtrack.
Hmm.
And it's similar with FLCL or Fooly Cooly. That show's entire soundtrack is through the catalog of um, an old Japanese rock band called The Pillows, who are very good. They're kind of punk inspired, I guess you could say. I don't know. They're kind of like I don't know how to describe them, but they're just like good, a really good rock band. I love most of their songs. I can listen to a lot of their catalog as well, and that show is also heavily inspired through their or the atmosphere is developed through the music. Um, like for example, the weapons in the show. And I hate to say weapons because like the show isn't really like a fighting anime, but the weapons used in the show are actually just guitars and basses. Um, like literally, they just jump around like swinging guitars at each other, and so that kind of links to the whole rock theme and stuff. But it's all one feel of music, right? Because it's just one artist. So it's good stuff. Do you have any other shows where you like really love the music in them?
Let me think.
It could even be outside of anime. Are there any TV show soundtracks that you really enjoyed? Or even movies?
I have seen movies before. I have seen them.
I don't think you have, according to our conversations.
Well, you know, I'm here and there.
I think you see it as some total of like 10.
That's still more than one, Gabe. You can't take that away. I liked a lot of the music from Attack on Titan.
Okay.
Do you even know what the music is? Don't even.
No, I've listened to a lot of the Attack on Titan music because I play Osu and that's all they play. Or that's all they played a few months ago. The hype on Attack on Titan has died down a little bit.
Makes sense.
I know that for a fact because this year at Intac, there are only a handful of the fucking guys with jackets and metal boxes on their sides. While last year, everyone and their mom was. There's literally at least 50 to 100 last year.
Holy shit.
So, that's how I know that the hype on Attack of Titan has dropped down. But
yeah.
Yeah, so you like the Attack on Titan soundtrack, huh?
Yeah, I like the I don't remember the endings, but I like the openings, I like the OSTs, I like the character themes for the most part, and yeah.
Speaking more on like an opening and ending musical kind of direction, I did like the original Full Metal Alchemist opening and endings a lot. Specifically like the last opening of the show, which is by Asian Kung Fu Generation. They actually do a lot of openings and endings for animes. So
Interesting. Yeah. I actually, with Brotherhood, I've only heard two of the openings and endings, but I didn't care for the first set, but I actually like the second set. Yeah.
yeah, there are also like a lot of movie soundtracks I like. Hans Zimmerman makes some cool ones. Like the Interstellar soundtrack was very cool. I really enjoyed that one. It is very grand, very like all encompassing and epic in feel. It really added a lot of suspense to the movie, but it was also very atmospheric, and you could just kind of listen to it. I think my favorite movie soundtrack is the Blade Runner soundtrack, though. It's by an artist named Vangelis, and I actually think that's like a phenomenal album. Like it's one of my favorite albums, the Blade Runner soundtrack. It's I don't even know how to describe the genre. It's like synth jazz. I have no idea, but it's very like low key, atmospheric, like using keyboards and synth. Um, and the movie itself is very like dark. It's always raining. It's I don't know if you probably haven't seen Blade Runner, but it's like it's a sci-fi movie where in a kind of a dystopian future where like the city is really full of trash and everything is dirty and it's raining all the time, and like a lot of people are like disfigured, and like the buildings are really high, and like you don't really go down to the bottom of the city much. So and it has a very like film noir um, uh, feel to it, and
All
so
right.
like the movie's music is very like slow and atmospheric. I use the word atmospheric too much, I think, but very it adds to like the very dark and like dirty, mysterious kind of atmosphere of the movie. No, I purposely use atmosphere that time, but
No, I know. It's just the
yeah, I use it a
count.
little too much. Everything has a very nice atmosphere.
So it seems.
um, yeah. So I guess that's what I look for in a soundtrack. Something that um, adds to the movie's feeling and environment, rather than something that just sounds nice. Although I love soundtracks that just sound nice, but if it can, if it's so obvious in its contribution that like it can actually like help drive the emotion and feeling of the movie, um, and even the environment of the movie, and I think that's when a soundtrack becomes really good.
Hmm.
Yeah. So that's this week. The keyword
Damn.
of this week has been atmosphere.
Yeah, we're gonna have to look up some synonyms for you.
I think I tried it. I tried several, but I don't know how good they were.
Mm.
But yeah, thanks everyone for listening. You know, check out our Facebook. Check out our website, incoherent.com. Check out Brad's YouTube.
That was a close cut there. Yeah, I mean, my YouTube, man, it's been dead for like a month, but don't worry, there's some good shit coming soon.
Well, I mean, there's still plenty of videos. Like, if they haven't, I'm sure they haven't watched every single one of your LPs.
I don't know, man. They could be pretty fucking dedicated. You never know.
You released like 3 videos a day for a while. Like, you have a lot of videos on there. No one has time to watch that much every day, Brad. But
Uh,
yeah, check out his YouTube. There's some good gamer stuff.
yeah.
And we'll see you guys next week.
See ya.